My name is Arielle Rausin. I'm a wheelchair racing athlete. Training at the University of Illinois is very physically demanding. When we're doing marathon training, we're clocking about 20 miles a day. We'll do sometimes 7 or 8 on the track in the morning and then a 13 or 14 mile push in the afternoon out on the roads. So it's pretty intense. I had taken a class at the University of Illinois called Making Things. We had a project to essentially come up with something we wanted to create. We had all the 3D printing technology available to us and 3D scanning technology. And so I was brainstorming here with Coach at practice, like what would be really cool to print, what would be really cool to make, and he kind of was like, you should try and make some gloves.
You can certainly be the strongest and most fit athlete and have the most efficient biomechanical stroke, but if you aren't in the right setup with your equipment, and that's racing chair, wheels, tires, gloves, then you won't achieve your potential in the sport.
So one of the most important things for racing is the glove. If you don't have a good glove, that definitely makes or breaks a race. The way the gloves work is there's this groove that lines right in the middle right there, and the groove is really important because you really want that contact with the ring.
Athletes who are new to the sport, typically they'll use an off-the-shelf glove that's made out of leather and rubber. As they progress, they'll move into a more advanced technology, and that is a solid pair of gloves. And as the athletes master the skill of using the solid gloves, there's a better transfer of energy. So there's quite a bit of force that gets transferred from the hand ring to the glove and into the body. So designing a glove that better absorbs those forces is really key to keeping the athlete healthy. For the last decade, we've used a plastic material that you heat up, then mold to accommodate the athlete's particular preferences and stroke style.
Every single glove is unique because we mold it to each athlete's individual hand. And one pair, it takes a lot of hours to build, and so it typically costs around $250 to make one pair of gloves.
The real problem is when they move on to their next set of gloves, as you try to rebuild a new pair of gloves, just eyeballing and looking at those grooves and angles, and you make a minute change to that glove, and that's going to affect their biomechanics. So they're going to have to, in effect, relearn that stroke, so they're going to lose efficiency and effectiveness.
That would be really awesome if we could replicate gloves so you could print as many pairs as you want, as long as you wanted, and so then I kind of just took that as a challenge.
Now, what Arielle has been able to accomplish by scanning the glove, getting a perfect replica of either the current glove the athlete's using or an older glove that they now need to replace, they know that it's going to be an exact replica.
We first met Travis at Beckman when we came to do a classroom tour, and I brought a glove, and we kind of spent the whole class time scanning my one glove. The scan came out, and then we just kind of cleaned it up on some software and printed it, and it worked, which was kind of really surprising. I didn't think it was going to be that quick. I didn't think it was going to be that efficient. And then I kept waiting for something to go wrong, like the gloves weren't going to be strong enough, the material wasn't going to be good, but it worked so well. So this is the first printed glove that I ever made. I think I've done over 500 miles on this one pair of gloves, and they're holding up so well. For these, to print it, it costs $4 for one glove, so $8 for a pair of gloves, which is a pretty big decrease from $250. So that's definitely a benefit. And my glove that we made by hand is 174 grams, and then one printed glove is 70 grams. When you're pushing for 26 miles, that 100 grams shaved off could definitely make a difference in maybe a second or two towards the finish line.
Seconds count. When races, marathons are being won by a tenth of a second or a hundredth of a second, then those 2 seconds are pretty important. But I think just the ease of replication, that's the real key point to what Arielle is doing. You could have a dozen gloves ready to go with different pushing surfaces to address different environments that you have to train and compete in. And that doesn't exist now. We don't have that in our sport. So this it really truly is groundbreaking.
I do all this training because I would really love to go to the Paralympics someday. I really love marathons, so it would be my dream to compete in a Paralympic marathon. I've been training really hard trying to get to Rio, but if I can't get Rio, 2020 in Tokyo might be my first opportunity to make my first Paralympic team. I think that would just be an incredible experience. And if having the correct equipment and having the correct kind of glove can help me accomplish that, then that's huge, because that would just be the best thing ever. I love that so much.